It's 2025 and we have 14 new comic book movies and TV shows coming out this year. And a lot of them are to be excited for, and some of them I wish I could get more excited for. But that's what this video is about, is going over my excitement level and ranking them from least excited to most excited projects for 2025. Definitely leave your thoughts down below. Which ones are you most excited for? What is your ranking? I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And it'll be fun to go back next year and see which ones actually ended up being the best. Maybe I'll get some surprises, maybe I won't, but it's time to dive into this video. Coming in at my number 14 is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, when this was first announced, I was very anticipating this. The fact that they kind of announced it as this origin story to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and that's cool. I get to see a more canonized version of Tom Holland's early days as the web slinger. That's awesome. I'm all for that. Maybe we even get the Uncle Ben story and see how that kind of translate. But no, they've completely changed it. It's more of like a multiverse look at a different version of Peter Parker. And the concept art looks cool. I like the voice actors we have. I like that we're getting so many different Spider-Man villains. But in the end of the day, it's just another Spider-Man show. And I have 4 or 5 of them I go back to every year anyways. I love Spider-Man. He's my personal favorite superhero of all time. The trailer didn't really do much for me on this. I'm hoping this show surprises me, but I really don't have too much excitement now. It's just another Spider-Man show, and I was hoping for a little bit more here. But I might be surprised. Maybe I'll watch this and be like, this is the best Spider-Man show ever. But it's going to be hard to top the 90s one. My number 13 is Eyes of Wakanda, which this one kind of just comes down to we don't know much about this. I don't know what the animation style is for this at all. I didn't really do much research on that to even see if it's out there. And that's about it. Like, I don't know how much is this actually canonized into it. Like, I know we're kind of getting an overview and look through different Black Panthers through Wakanda. I think that is a cool idea. But again, what's the animation? Are these short stories? Is this actually going to have like a poignant tale to be told throughout it? I love Black Panther. I love Wakanda. I think it's a cool world, but as of right now, I'm just not too anticipating this one. And you get me into my number 12, which is Ironheart. Now, this is a series made 2 years ago, immediately after Wakanda Forever. And if this series would have came out immediately afterwards, probably be a little bit more excited for it because we got introduced to Riri. I liked Riri Williams. I wanted to see a little bit more of her, but now it's been 3+ years or so since we've seen her last. And Ironheart, just, there's not much about it. I think the suit looks cool. The little teasers we've gotten is awesome. I like that Anthony Ramos is playing the Hood. I think that's awesome that they're kind of diving into like technology versus magic. That's awesome to me. But that's about it personally for me. Like, I don't see too much else here. I know there's rumors that Mephisto might be in here, but how many rumors did we hear about WandaVision having Mephisto? Time will tell. I think Ironheart will end up being a good show still. I think there's a reason that they've held back on it. I think the retinkering is a big thing of what Marvel Studios is trying to do. But I just don't have too much anticipation yet for this one. Get into my number 11, and if you would have told me this a couple years prior, this would be honestly maybe one of my more anticipated films of that year. And it's The Old Guard Part 2, or Old Guard 2, which was filmed about 2 years ago. And the original one came out during 2020, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked the mythology of it. I liked Charlize Theron, and I wanted to see more of that world, and we just took forever to get one. So I don't really know. We don't know anything much about this film. We just know it's coming out this year. Netflix could drop it at any point in time, genuinely. I hope the action's cool. I hope there's some cool new lore to it all. But I'm not really anticipating too much from this. I think it'll just be a fun time, and that's about it. We get to my number 10, which is Marvel Zombies, which for most people, it'll probably be a little bit lower on the list. But for me personally, Marvel Zombies, I'm excited for. I really am a big fan of the comic books for Marvel Zombies. I think the What If Marvel Zombies episode was one of my personal favorites that they did, like probably top 3 or 4 episodes. And for them to do a spinoff, it's rated mature. We're getting like Shang-Chi in there, Blade's apparently in there. Like, there is all this excitement surrounding it for me. And even though I think it's 4 episodes, it's a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping that maybe they're hour-long lengths. If they're not, then oh well. But they've been working on this one for a while, and I think maybe they do have something special here. I like the fact that we are getting Marvel Zombies, and for me, I'm anticipating it. What can I say? Now we get into my number 9, and this is one that I'm cautiously very optimistic about and very excited for, but there's always that piece of me that's held back against because of all of the reports on this film, and that is Captain America: Brave New World. Now, personally for me, I really want this movie to work. I really hope it's good. Cut that out. Personally for me, I really want this movie to work. I love Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I think it's such a cool, unique thing. While I wasn't the biggest fan of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I liked seeing him come up in here and like really much like what that show did, and it was cool to see him. But I wish we would have just gotten this movie right away. I like that we're getting Red Hulk. I like that we're getting the leader. I like that we're getting all these avenues. There's some weird things in there. It's like, where's Mark Ruffalo? Like, why is he not in here? Why is this character? And I can put those to the side. And if I was just basing this solely on the trailer, which is what I should base it on, this would be one of my more anticipated projects. The trailers, I thought, have been phenomenal. I think the marketing has been really good for this. But then there's all these reports of test screenings and reshoots and retinkering, and I don't know what's to believe, what's real, what's not. What I do know is I know someone who has seen the movie. I don't know if that's the version that they're going to be putting out, if that's the finalized version, or if they're going to retinker it a little bit more, but that person really liked it. They said it's a little bit different than what the trailers are putting out, but they weren't anticipating the project and they thought it was awesome. So I have all these things to go around on. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for the project. I already have my press screening, the date that I get to see it, and I'm excited to see the film. But at the same time, I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. Coming in at my number 8 is Wonderman, which is probably going to be a lot lower for everybody else. But the fact that Daniel Destin Cretton is making this show, like went and made this instead of Shang-Chi 2 first, and also is now going to be directing the next Spider-Man movie. Well, Spider-Man's like one of your biggest heroes, so you definitely got to put trust in that person. You know, we obviously saw Shang-Chi, it was amazing, but they must have seen Wonderman and thought, there's something special here. You also have Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is one of the better parts of the Aquaman movies, but is just a phenomenal actor in general. And he kind of has talked about like making comic book movies and shows and all this stuff and how it's kind of clown work. But I can't remember if that was before Wonder Man or not. But the fact that he said that, it just makes me think that maybe there's something special about Wonder Man. And the little bit of a tease we got just like kind of screamed special to me. I'm excited to see what we get here. I don't expect anything mind-blowing. I don't know much about the Wonder Man character, but you have Daniel making this series. You have Yahya Abdul-Mateen II starring in it. Then absolutely I'm going to be excited for it. I think in the end of the day, I think Wonder Man is going to be the biggest surprise on this list for every single person. Now, my number 7 is Invincible Season 3. Now, I think the first season of Invincible is one of my favorite things of this last decade in terms of comic book movies and TV shows. I absolutely loved it. I'd never gotten into the comic books until that first season, and then I fell in love with it, and I just needed to know where it was going, and I read through every single Invincible comic book that fast. So the wait to get season 2 felt like a drag a bit. And watching season 2, I think they did a couple bad things. I think, first off, making us wait that long is stupid, insane. But also, the fact that they split it into 2 parts, I did not think was the smartest idea. Kind of hurt the pacing. And I think season 2 overall was like good, but not like as amazing as the first season. I think it was kind of like dissecting and giving you all these little details and all these little plot lines and then like this multiverse angle, and then it didn't really ever amount to anything, and it just never felt like anything actually came together. Whereas the first season of Invincible, I felt like it really structured out everything perfectly, and the season 2 kind of went more into the comic book realm, which is fun, but I definitely don't think it's as great as the original show or the first season of the show. So I'm hoping season 3 can kind of bring it around. I did not watch the trailer. I haven't watched anything for this. I kind of have an idea of where I guess they're going because of the comic books, but it's Invincible, so I'm going to be excited for it. But if this season doesn't succeed or bring me into that next light, then, you know, this might fall a little bit lower on the list in terms of like which ones actually worked out for me. But talking about big surprises, my number 6 is Gen V Season 2, which I've actually gotten to see the trailer for because they showed it to us at Comic-Con this last year, and it was awesome. It was amazing. But for me, Gen V, the first season of this, kind of came out at a time where I was getting a little bit over The Boys. Boys season 3, I know a lot of people loved, and I definitely loved the back half of that season, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the first half. So I was a little bit sour on The Boys, and then like this Sky High, like I was like, really, like what the fuck are we doing here? Like, just give me the next season of The Boys. And I watched Gen V, and I watched it in one sitting. Like, they sent the screeners over, and I watched it all in one sitting besides the finale because they didn't send that till later. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. I love the new characters, love the new angle. I love the college front. I liked all these different things, plus the political conspiracy stuff. It was all there, and the way that it tied into the boys' world, I thought was just perfect. So Gen V Season 2 had a lot to live up to. Trailer looks amazing. Where they ended off with Gen V Season 1, where the boys Season 4 has ended off. There's all these questions, all these things that I have, but now I'm just excited to see how it plays out, and this is definitely something I'm highly anticipating. Then we get into my number 5. This is Peacemaker Season 2. So the first season of Peacemaker looked like dog shit. The trailers looked like dog shit. Everything around it, surrounded like it, just sounded like dog shit. And this comes from someone who The Suicide Squad was one of my favorite films of that year. I was not excited at all for the series. I was like, what are you doing, James Gunn? And I watched it, and it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's one of the best comic book TV shows of all time. And it made me love a character I never expected to love. And now I come into this where, okay, he's coming into this new universe, this new DC universe. Some things are going to be retconned, some things are going to go forward. How's this going to play out? I trust James Gunn for the most part. I mean, I got no reason not to. And yeah, I'm just hyped for this. It would probably be a little bit higher if I had a little bit more clear indication of what the season's going to be about, because there's no trailer, no marketing, no nothing yet. We just know Frank Grillo's in this season. I think, I thought he said that. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he said that in an interview. But what is this season about? How does it tie into the overall DC universe? Does it kind of just continue the path from season 1, or there's some characters that may come back? There's all these questions and internal things I just wonder, but all I damn right know is that we're going to have a damn blast, especially if that intro kicks in, which I think they're going to change it, which makes me sad, but fuck, I can't wait. Pouring on up all these projects I'm just absolutely out of my mind excited for. And my number 4 is Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is one of those ideas when it was announced, I was like, that's awesome. More Red Guardian. First off, that was like my big takeaway. But then you get Yelena, you get Ghost, you get Taskmaster, you get Winter Soldier, you get US Agent, you get all these characters. Okay, that's awesome. And then the second they said Sentry is going to be in here, I just absolutely got excited. Plus, it's from the same director and writer who made Beef on Netflix, which was one of my favorite shows of that year. So overall, Thunderbolts just sounds like it's going to be an amazing time, and I can't wait to see it. Plus, the trailers were great. Up next, at my number 3 most anticipated, it's Daredevil Born Again, which got a complete rewrite, complete different change and shift of everything, which is massive that they actually went back and said, okay, what we have, it's dog shit. It does not live up to that Netflix show. We got to go back and change it. And, you know, now that they have the creators from Moon Knight and Loki, I love Damon and Moorhead. I think they're so freaking cool. And I love all the projects that they create. They're crafting this. You have the same showrunner as the Punisher show, which is amazing. Johnny's in here as the Punisher. You also have Kingpin. Who knows what else is going to happen? I am so utterly excited for this, but I also am still cautiously optimistic because I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it does. I hope it lives up to what Daredevil was before, and I like that this is now just basically Daredevil season 4 because that's what they should have done from the start. So as nervous as I am for this, I'm also highly anticipating it, and it has to be up here because my excitement level is through the roof, even if I'm still nervous. Then we get to my number 2, and my number 2 is James Gunn's Superman, which is the actual kickoff the DC universe, not Creature Commander, which was awesome. I liked Creature Commander. I thought it was a lot of fun. Superman has so much to do, but on the surface and what it really needs to do is just bring back that general going audience to loving DC and respecting Superman's name. And there's been a lot of change and everything like this, and there's things I'm nervous about on the film, and can James Gunn actually pull off a Superman movie in all themes and all styles of his directing? I think he can do the action, but can he pull off Superman? And I feel like he's going to, but this is going to be such an utterly different direction from him that I am very excited to see what occurs and happens next. So Superman, that trailer, again, if it wasn't for the trailer, it's probably a little bit lower on my list, but Superman, that trailer was amazing. It looks amazing. Everything I've heard about it sounds amazing. I just overall am out of my mind excited for this film. And I think David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane are going to be great. I think Nicholas Hoult might steal the entire show, though, if I'm being personally honest. But this is the kickoff. There's a lot riding on it, and it looks amazing, though. In the end of the day, too, though, and I've said this, like, I really hope this entire DC universe works. I want DC to succeed. I grew up specifically more with DC Comics than I did with Marvel Comics. And I want Superman, I want Batman, I want all these worlds to just collide and work to the most part, and also just have successful films. And I want my son to be able to have a Superman to look up to. And I think what David Corenswet's going to pull off here is something of how the same way of how I gained more respect for Captain America after seeing what Chris Evans did with the character. I love what Henry Cavill did, but to get a full-fledged universe, maybe this will actually work out this time. My number one most anticipated, most excited comic book movie of this year, and of course, this was also my most anticipated film of the year as of right now, but it's The Fantastic Four, First Steps, but I don't want to call it First Steps because I think that's a dumb subtitle. Either way, Matt Shakman's directing this, who, at first, when he was announced, I was like, okay, like that's cool. Like, Matt Shakman did an amazing job with WandaVision, but then he did a really good job with Monarch, too. And I got more and more and more excited to see what he was going to do next. And what really sold me on this is I know that the general going audience has not seen trailer, not seen much. We've seen glimpses, posters, some set footage or set visits, or not even set visits, like those old publicity photos. But what sells me on this thing is when I was at Comic-Con, it's like they pitched it to me. And I went from being curious to, wow, this looks incredible. It's in an alternate universe, an alternate Earth, where basically they're celebrated as superheroes, as celebrities. You have Pedro Pascal, you have Vanessa Kirby, you have Joseph Quinn, you have Eben Moss, which initially, like, Vanessa Kirby was the only one that I was like, yeah, I love Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. That's an amazing casting. But the more and more I've sat on it, I love the casting of all four of them. I love the fact and the look of what this universe looks like from concept art. But what sold me the most was they showed us this test footage that they made to what the film is going to look like, with the actors in motion acting as these characters. And I got a little teary-eyed when I saw Pedro as Reed. He sold me as Reed. They all sold me as their individual characters, just for the small little substance that I got to see from them. And the fact of this alternate timeline and the world they're going for, everything in this just seems amazing. And I am so out of my mind excited for this project that if it sucks or it's disappointing at all, I will be very disappointed. But this is the future of the Marvel Universe, and I can't wait. My projects that I'm most excited for in 2025 in terms of comic book movies and TV shows, please leave your thoughts down below. Hit that like, subscribe button, and of course, until next time, stay classy.